Thank you, Mr. Minor, for agreeing to sit down for this interview this evening. For the record, could you please state your full name, birthday, and place of birth?
My name is Felton Minor. I'm born February 12, 1932 in a little town called Corner, Louisiana.
What are some of the earliest memories of your upbringing? Some of the earliest memories that you
I
have?
remember when I was 5 years old, I lived with my great-grandmother. She was an ex-slave. She was born in 1859. She was a midwife. I remember one night she was going to deliver a baby. She put a coat on me and they run on down the road. When I got to the house, the baby was crying.
Really? What was her name?
Alice Cumming.
Could you tell us how it came to be that you lived with your great-grandmother?
Well, I was born out of wedlock, and my mother and my father wasn't married, so when I born, my great-grandmother just took me as her own.
It seems like you've had a lot of influential people in your life. Could you name at least one person that had a major impact on your life, or they really changed the course of your life?
Well, I deal with a lot of people, but a lot of them stood out further than others, but it was two old men that stood out in my life. One was named Eddie Kimmel, and then I met my father-in-law named Adam Richo. I didn't know it would be my father-in-law at the time, but he taught me a lot how to work and how to do things right. And I went from one thing to another.
Could you give us an example of one of the things that he taught you to do?
He taught me how to work and told me if I do my work well, I always would have a job and I wouldn't have no trouble finding a job. He said my work would speak for me.
Okay. And you said another person? What did they teach you?
Well, he was the same way. He was belongs to my church. He was a church member. His name was Eddie Kimmel, a very good friend of mine. He was a very kind gentleman. He would take time to teach a young man how to do things right. He had time and compassion for people. And well, see, I was out there. I didn't, like I said, I wasn't raised with my father, so I had to depend on other people to show me the ropes. And they was kind enough to take the time to show me, Although they did, but I still appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing it. We know that times are really hard back in the day. Could you tell us what type of food did you eat? What type of drinks?
It was most. It was like beans and rice and cornbread and milk and butter, peas, beans, things like that. Most of the thing with the grow in the farm, on the farm, we didn't have fast food stores like they have now, and you couldn't go down the street and get a hamburger because they didn't have hamburger stands. So you had to take what you had at the house and either eat that or you didn't have anything to eat because, it just wasn't nowhere to go and get something, like it is today. And of course, that was back in the 30s and, and on up to the 40s. So time was really kind of rough then. And wasn't many people riding. Most people were walking. Those that were riding, they were mostly riding in wagons because you lived on the farm. You were doing farm work. And at that time, that was the only thing you had going for you.
So what was your favorite meal?
My favorite meal?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I could get at the time.
Okay, as a young boy, what was your favorite childhood game or toy?
Well, I like this. I like to hunt, but I always liked to hunt. That was one thing I liked, and I like to garden. Those were the two things that I like, and then I like to fish too. So those were the three major things in my life that I really cared about when I was a kid. Growing up.
So how about school? Where did you attend school, and could you tell us what a typical day of school was like?
Well, a typical day of school with me was like most kids. I had to walk about 5 miles to school and walk about 5 miles back home. I had a little two-story school. I went there. First day I went there was 1938, and the main thing about the school is still standing. When we went to the school, didn't no grass grow on the ground, but now trees don't grow around it, and the old school is still standing. Out of all these years, it's still standing.
What's the name of the school?
Well, I really didn't know the name. I just know there was a school, but it was at Lord Hill, Louisiana. So I really didn't know. It was an elementary school. It wasn't no fancy name school. No, it just was a school where you could go and get a little basic education. So that's about the most I could say. Well, I didn't. I only stayed there till I was 10, and then I transcended to Mogansy, and went to school in Mogansy after I was 10.
Okay. As a child, do you remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Well, I really had a lot of things in my mind that I wanted to be, but as I grew older, they faded out, so I had to take something else what I really, at the time, that I could handle. Because, when you're small, you might want to be an astronaut or, a doctor, brain surgeon, but when you grow up, things just don't work out like it does when you think you want to do when you're small. So you have to go to something else at the time that fit the need.
So you want to be an astronaut when you were younger?
No, I not particular. When I was younger, I didn't know nothing about it, but I was using that for an example of what a child would want to do. Because when I come up, well, I didn't know nothing but Buck Rogers, so I didn't know nothing about no astronaut. But so a lot of things that I thought I wanted to do until I got old enough to do it, and then, it just wasn't there to do, so I had to do something else.
To help us understand, could you give us an example of what is like one thing you want to be, or you thought you want to be?
Well, I wanted to be an operator. I want to operate heavy equipment. That's what when I got to be a man, I want to lead the farm. I want to be an operator. I want to get out there and be an operator. I want to burn some diesel. I want to be an operator, heavy duty operator. And I started out at the bottom, and I worked my way on up until I was the operator. And that's what I retired as a heavy duty operator.
So could you tell us why you decided to enlist in the military?
Well, at the time that I wasn't enlisted. They was drafted then, and one day I got a letter told me, Uncle Sam wants you. He told me I had to be a certain place at a certain time, a certain date, and that's what I did.
What was your duty while you were in the military?
Well, I was in I actually was in the artillery field. I was in the anti-aircraft artillery battalion. It was the 40th Tripoli Gun Battalion. I took basic training in Fort Bliss, Texas. And I went there in March 53 till July 53. I finished basic training. And they gave me orders to go overseas. Give me a 9-day leave, so I came home. And I got married.
You got married. Could you tell us who you got married to?
Well, I got married to a little girl that I fell in love with, and she was kind of hard. It took me 2 years to win old, but I just had to do some fighting to get her because everybody wanted us, but I made up my mind that I was going to get them, and I didn't care how long it took, and I got her.
How'd you get her?
Yeah.
You said it was hard to get her, so what are some things you did to get her attention?
Yeah, well, I saw in the heart. I went over to. She was hard, but after a little while, I had to eat out my hand.
Okay, we're gonna come back to more marriage questions because it's very important. Could you also tell us about going back to your childhood before you became an adult male and got married and had lots of children? If you could go back to any age in your life, knowing everything you know, all the wisdom that you had, what age would you be and why would you pick that age?
Well, let me see now. I want to be honest. What if I could call back 1 year back those days, wasn't much different than the others, so I'll say by the time I was about 15. The reason I say that, I was old enough to go out and work a little bit and make me a little change, and I could have my little spending money. I had something at home at that time they called a movie theater, so you could go to the movie theaters and you could see movies, and well, that was good because I was where I wasn't used to movies, so every weekend I looked forward to going to a movie and things like that.
What was your favorite movie to go and see?
Big pardon?
What was your favorite movie?
Well, my favorite movie was Western, and still is. I really liked the Western because Western had to be a man, you know, good man. The good man always win, and so I want to be a good man. I want to always win, so I really wanted. I really like the Western.
If you had one last wish, what would you wish for and why?
Well, I had one last wish. I wish I could have gotten more education. And I wish I could have been a little bit more successful in life, but the way things is, I thank God for what it is.
What's something that no one else knows about you? Something that your family looking around, they don't know about you that you would like them to know?
Well, I really don't have no secret from my family. For everything that I know, I've told them, so I really don't have no. I really didn't keep nothing in the closet from them because I really didn't have nothing to hide. So everything that I did, they know about it.
Let me follow up with, because I know you share a lot, you give wisdom to all your family, but like there's a lot of things that in the interview today a lot of us did not know. So is there anything that you could just share, maybe from growing up, that maybe one memory that you didn't share with us enough, or maybe we weren't paying attention close enough, that you can kind of let us live that with you, whether it's living with your great grandmother or like walking to school? Just
this is hard to believe. I mean, but it's the truth. I had a living witness, but she passed on some years later. But this is true. We were small, living in the country. Asked the old man, I said, "Good morning." His head was real white. And I walked up to him. I was about like 8 years old, 6 years old. I said, "Good morning." I forget his name. It's been so long. I said, "How your head get so white?" He said, "Son, if you thank the Lord when you go to bed in the morning, and you thank Him when you go to bed at night, thank Him when you get up and your head will get white." Well, at that time, I didn't really know nothing about the Lord because I was young, and I didn't know nothing about the Lord. But as the years went on by, I kept on living. My head started getting white. And then I thought about what he said. If you thank the Lord when you go to bed at night and when you get up in the morning, your head will get white. Well, he told me if the Lord let me live long enough, that my head would get white. But at the time, it didn't sound right, but that's what it meant. But I didn't know what it meant at the time. But as years cut with me, I really understood what it meant.
Going off that, and this is our last question for this evening, we'll follow it tomorrow. What's the best advice you would give to your family?
Well, the best advice I would give to my children is get wisdom and understanding. That's the best advice. If you get wisdom and understanding, everything else will fall in place. And out of all you're doing, out of all you going out and coming in, trust in the Lord, let Him guide your footsteps and guide your paths. Those things that I would say. Because I know He brought me 84 years, I know what He did for me, He'll do for them.
My apologies, grandfather. We are going to open the floor for additional questions from your family. Starting first with Mother.
I just got a question about your grandmother. Did you know anything about Grandma Ella?
Well, no. Grandma Ella, she that's the reason to say my great grandma.
Right.
See, Grandma Ella, that was my mother's mother, but she died when I was young, real young.
Okay.
She had an accident in the field. She got burned up, so I really didn't know nothing about her. So that's why my great grandmother took over.
Okay, and I have one last question. Is that I know Grandma Alice raised you when you was a baby, but as far as my understanding, Grandma Alice didn't know who her parents were, right? Because she was a little slave girl, so she really didn't know.
Well, she knew who he was, but she told me, but it's been so long that I just forgot who it was. But she had a sound mind. She wasn't an educated person, but she was a midwife.
Right.
She must have delivered 40, 50 babies here back in those times. And I never heard that she lost a patient.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
Okay.
She was all right.
So she did know her parents, but
she did know them.
Okay, I understand. I thought for for some reason.
Yeah,
I thought
but
she
they
had
was
been
born in Africa.
They were born in Africa.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's nice history.
And Talisa?
Falala, my question is, how was it for you serving in the military during that time?
Big pardon?
How was it for you serving in the
Well,
military?
It was all right. It was something new. There's a bunch of rules and regulations that you had to get used to. You go to bed when they tell you. You get up when they tell you. Everything was when they tell you, you know. And after that, you know, I didn't have but 2 years to do so. I just made up my mind I was gonna do those 2 years without any trouble, because you can't buck the military. You have to do what they tell you, and don't get in no trouble. So you get in trouble, to put you in the guardhouse, and that make your time long. So I didn't want to do my time as quick as I could. I know I wasn't gonna make no career out of it, because I really didn't like it enough.
Was it a lot of difference between how they treated the black and the white enlisted soldiers?
Well, at the time I was in, the white and black was together, so they was integrated back then. So I would say when one went to the mess hall, well, the mess hall, that's the kitchen. I mean, we call it the mess hall, but everybody sat down in there eating, you know. And, you know, I really didn't have no trouble with no one in the military. Yeah, I really didn't. Well, I didn't bother no one, and nobody never did bother me.
I have a question, Daddy. Growing up in Morganza and going through the civil rights movement, like around the time I was born, 1965, did you have any encounters, or did you notice a big difference in how things were changing?
Well, yeah, well, when civil rights come up, well, the people didn't want us to vote. Naturally, you know, we had the voting rights, so they really didn't want us to vote. So it was a little hard, but we didn't give up. We went on and we registered, we voted, and we became citizens, because we just didn't let them stop us, you know. A lot of people there had to leave. They were staying on people's farms, sharecropping, and they had to leave, move out of the house, and they went and vote. So everybody, both people got them a little piece of land for themselves. That helped them out good, because they might have been still there staying now, but since they put them out, they went and bought them a little piece of land and bought them a little house, and, you know, and started from there.
Papa, do you remember who you first voted for?
Let me see. It's been a long time. I would say Governor Roy Kelly Long. I would say way back in the 60s or 50s.
Who was that? I'm sorry?
It was named Roy Kelly Long, the governor of Louisiana.
Daddy, you said your grandmother was a slave, and did she tell you much?
She told me that when the war ended, she was 5 years old. She remembered the blue coats. She didn't know who was who, but she remembered the blue coats and the gray coats. She actually seen them with her own eyesight. So the blue coats, we know that was the North, and the gray coats, we know that was the South. From the time I got big enough to know about the Civil War, right. But she remembered. But see, the man, somebody owned her. I don't remember who she said owned her, but she was a slave to the war. And even though she wasn't but 5 years old, she still was a slave, right, until everybody was set free. Her mother and parents, they was a slave too. So her mother taught her all the ways about Africa and how to make different medicine for different things. Now she couldn't make penicillin, but she could make a lot of things that would help minor symptoms like cold and cough. And I remember one day, at that time, people had something called a whooping cough. Man, you just cough, and never stop coughing. So one day we was out there at the house. A man came by riding a horse, a mare horse with a little coat behind him. And she knew that boy because she had delivered some year way before she did with me. So she stopped the boy on the horse, and she went in the house, got a pain, and she milked some of that mare milk and told me to drink it. Man, I really put my grandma in jail and to drink mare milk. I drank that mare milk, and I ain't had to call no more. So she was real smart.
Papa, there's been a lot of inventions from the time when you were young until now. What do you think the best one is?
Well, granddaughter, I would say I couldn't sum it up in one thing. I think one of the best things is if you can go to the wall, hit a little switch, and get you some heat, some air. You know, that's good. You could, well, they had electricity when I was born, but we didn't have it now. But when you can hit a switch and get lights, or you got inside plumbing, you don't have to go outside. You got inside plumbing. You got running water. You know, you got gas stove, you got electric. You know, you got telephones. You got so many things now that I just couldn't put it on one thing. But all of those things that we have, they're useful to us, and we have to use them. So we just thank God that someone invented all those things for our convenience, and it helps us a lot. I remember a time your mother used to had a sewing machine. She could make clothes and everything, and wash machine and dryers, refrigerators, all those modern appliances good. So you just can't put it on one thing because we need all of them. We got our automobiles, you know, and our trucks. We can leave here and we can go 100 miles and 500 miles in a day, and you know. And years ago, that wasn't possible because you didn't have nothing qualified to go that far. So, you know, in those years, a lot of things have changed for the benefit of man, for the better man condition.
Papa, was there, when you were growing up, was there like I know you mentioned the movies, but was there like another favorite hangout spot that you and your friends maybe had, or just you like to go to?
Well, at the time I hung out, it was three things you could go to. You could either go to the movie, or go to church, or go to the saloon. So my mother, she allowed me to go to the saloon. So it was either church or the movie.
Okay.
And I joined church there for Sunday in August 1955. But that's about 71 years the way I look at it with my arithmetic. I didn't, like everybody else, I didn't do everything right. I made some mistakes, but I'm still in church.
Yes.
Dion?
Papa, have you ever been in the war?
Huh?
Have you ever been in the war?
Have you ever been in a war?
I wasn't in the war. I was in the army, but I never been in the war. I never had to shoot no one, or no one never shot at me. I never had to shoot no one, or never, you know, no one never shot at me.
Papa,
Huh?
how did your marriage last so long?
Well, now, that was a good one, that grandson. Well, you got to give it in marriage, you give and take. You ain't gonna be right all the time. Your wife not gonna be right all the time. Ain't nobody gonna be right all the time. You just got to work it out. And if you love someone and they love you, love will prevail. You just can't get mad and go home every time it rains. Sometimes you got to stand a little rain. You can't run in the house every time a drop falls. Sometimes you got to get it wet. And then pretty soon the shower pass over, the sun will shine, and everything will be smooth.
Scott?
What was like to pick cotton?
Well, that's the government. The pick cotton, it was something you had to do because it was necessary. Because you go out there, you pick cotton, you could make your little money and everything. You know, the man would pay you, pay you what you pick. You make a little money. And back in the old days, you had to make your little money in the way you could. Pick cotton, cut cane, pick potatoes, whatever you was available for you. That was what you had to do. It wasn't a lot of money, but you could take a little money, and a little money is better than no money at all. So don't never say, oh, it ain't much, because you get rid of that, you won't have nothing. So always. And be appreciated. When you don't have nothing, anything can help you.
If you could change one thing in your life, what would it be?
what would it be? Well, I don't know, Dale. That's a hard one, you know. Because, yeah, I mean, if I could tell you one thing, maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe I'd like to control my temper a little bit better. Sometimes my temper gets away with me, but coming up hard, you know, and sometimes, you know, you just fly off, you know, without thinking. So I could be a little bit more gentle. That's about the only thing that I would want to change.
For my husband, I'm gonna ask this question. When you was mean, did you ever thought that my mama would tell you that one day that you would be my husband?
Well, see, that's another thing that I remember. The first day I went to your house, and what did I tell you? I said, I'm a fortune teller. I was rapping, you know. I took your hand and I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to marry you. And when I left, you told your mother, old boy said he's going to marry me. He ain't going to marry me. And your mother said, that same boy going to be your husband. Oh, no, mother, not me. Well, I just got it. I was a new boy on the block, and they had boys come from everywhere, so I just got me a seat to sit down. I figured I'd set them anyway, because I had made up my mind that I was going to stick to hell and high water, so she would go with other boys, go to the show and go ride.
And leave you at home, Dad?
Leave me at home, but I left.
Well, do you think that was good love you had or what?
Well, I thought I had good love, but at the time I thought you didn't have good love.
That's all.
What else?
From the audience, Dion.
Yeah.
What was some of your friends' names?
Well, I had a friend named, I had a bunch of friends. I had one named I.D. Smith, and Nathan Smith, and Elvin Smith, and Saul Kimmel. Saul White, Ernest Kimmel. Elmo Franklin, Elmo Simmons, Clown Simmons, Eric. Let me see what they were now. Anyway, it would beat us son, Eric Harris, yeah. And some of those people that was my good friends back in those days, but Leroy Edmond, but you know what? Most of all of them are deceased. Ain't many of them still living back then. When I went to school, we had enough of us to make a Tyler movie. But now you can almost count them all on one hand. They all, after 70-some years, they all have, you know, deceased. So I'm one of the fortunate ones that's still living, still thanking mighty God for the land they let me live upon. Because I could have been gone too.
Well, Paul, if there was one thing you could tell your 18-year-old self, what would be one piece of advice that you now, what piece of advice would you give yourself when you were 18?
Well, what I give myself when I was 18, I wanted to hurry up and be a man. See, men were doing things, and I was 18. I wasn't old enough to do it, so I thought what they were doing that I really wanted to do it, you know. But when I got there, I found out that it wasn't all what I thought because, you know, when I was young, I had it made. A lot of things I didn't have to worry about. It was somebody else's responsibility. But when you get up there in age, you got to tote the load by yourself. So every day don't be sunny. Sometimes you got to pack a load, and sometimes the road get hard. So sometimes I would tell a little child, just wait and be patient. Because if you live, it's change to come. But you don't need to hurry into it because you really don't know what you're hurrying into. Because things may not be always like it look. So I would say slow down and take your time.
Well, Paul, what is the happiest moment in your life?
Well, let me see. When I got married, I was happy. But I'll say when my oldest son born, I had a son. That really make you, you know, it really make you proud when And then you get a daughter and some more, you look back and you get happy. You believe you're not comfort somewhere. Now, like right now, when I look around, all my grandchildren, children, all of them is not here, but when I look around, and I look at me and I look at the old lady, the only thing I can say that she's caused all this.
One last question, or if we have more, we have time. I know you mentioned your faith a lot. That's a part of you. What is your favorite Bible verse and why?
I know my Redeemer lived. He appeared the latter days upon the earth. And though I the skin want to destroy my body, yet in my flesh I see God. Job 19:20. If you want to look for it in the Bible.
Any other last question? Thank you, Mr. Felton Minor. Good evening, Ms. Minor. Thank you for allowing us to interview this evening. Could you state your full name, birth date, and place of birth?
Well, my name is Karen Minor Richard.
And what day were you born?
Up in 1928, November the 8th, 1928.
And where were you born?
In Red Cross, Louisiana.
What are some of your earliest memories of your upbringing? What are some of the earliest things you can remember?
When I first started school, when I was a little girl, and I was 7 years old.
Do you remember the name of the school?
Rosenwald.
And what do you remember about being 7 at that school?
Being bad little girl.
What were some of the things you did?
Because me and my sister took one of my little sister, my little brothers from my mama and went under the bed with them. She was 4 and I was 5.
Which sister was this?
Dorothy.
Dorothy, okay. Name at least one person that had a major influence in your life. They really inspired you or changed the course of your life.
I'll say my mom and my dad.
And why would you pick them?
Because they were my mother and my father. That's the first time I know with my mother and father.
What are some things that your mom and dad did to like really instill good values in you or make you the person that you are today?
Well, they did work, made me work, and learn a lot of things to do. Something that I couldn't do my own self.
What were some of the things they had you do?
Oh, I had to cook, I had to wash, take care of my little brothers and sisters.
So tell us more about what it was like growing up with like your brothers and sisters and having all those responsibilities. Tell us what it was like.
I had to cook for them, I had to wash. And then I had to go in the field and pick cotton. I had to go hoe cotton, then leave out the field and go back home and cook again. To help my mom because she was sick at that time.
We also know that times were really, really hard back in the day. Tell us what type of food did you eat and what type of drinks that you had?
Well, water. You had to go to the well and get the water out the well, out the water and drink it from the well.
And what about what type of food did you eat?
Oh, Lord, red beans and white beans, I don't know how many beans all day long. I mean, every week we had to eat beans and meat. And they kill the hog and they kill the bee, the cone, and cook the meat and put it down, salt it in, make the salt back. And we eat that. Syrup and bread, anything we ate.
Did your family have a garden?
Oh, a big garden.
What were some of the
That's all they know was a field.
What were some of the types of things that you grew in the garden? Vegetables?
They had vegetables, mustard greens, collard greens. They had a little patch on the side with corn, a little cornfield. We had watermelons, which we used to always go and take the watermelon and bust them and eat the watermelon while Dad wasn't looking at us.
Oh, sneaky. As a young girl, what was your favorite childhood game or toy?
Baby dolls and cutting out the paper dolls and going riding into the house with me and my sister. Take a catalog and cut the dolls out and go in with the box and tell me we go and visit one another. playing with one another. Me and my sister Helen.
As a child, do you remember what you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I want to be a strong woman, take care of my children, and go to church and teach them the right thing. That's right.
If you could go back to any age in life with all the knowledge you have now, what age would you be and why?
Or about 18.
And why do you pick 18?
I don't know. You getting in your womanhood out there then. You know more, at that age.
So what does it mean to be a woman in your eyes?
Huh?
What does it mean to be a woman?
Well, you have to be strong and healthy and do what you can do.
Okay. What are you most proud of, Miss Minor?
I'm proud of right now I'm thinking of my health. And thanking the Lord that I'm doing good right now. That's what I'm proud of.
If you had one last wish, what would you wish for and why? One thing you would wish for.
That the Lord would let me take care of my children. And all of them, be grown. And I love my husband too. And my great-grandchildren, my grandchildren, all my grandchildren.
Miss Minor, what is something that no one knows about you? Just thinking about this question, what is something that you would like us to know that you know we don't know? Tell us something that we don't know.
Why y'all want to be so bossy and go in my kitchen and tell me what to cook?
That could be true.
Tell me what to cook. And what to, that's right.
So you're letting us know that we're sometimes bossy?
Yeah.
Okay. What about something about when you were younger? Like, is there something that your children might want to know and you never got to tell them?
Say it again.
Like, when I ask this question, I think about something that no one knows about me. I would say my parents might not know my favorite book, or something that happened when I was younger that I never told them. Is there something in your life that maybe you had a different name or something like that you would want us to know, or that you would like to share?
I don't know about that, but to tell.
What's the best advice you would give to your family?
To be strong and have a good life and work and have a good education. Go to church and pray. Thank the Lord for being here.
At this time, we can open the floor to any questions.
Mama, how'd you learn how to cook so good?
By listening to my mom. Only thing she could cook as good as I could cook. But she tell me to go ahead and cook. And something I cook better than she could cook. And I still had that.
Mama, what do you love most about Papa?
What I love
Most about Papa?
Oh, what I learned or do I know now?
What do you love the most about Papa?
About Belton.
I love his habits. And sometimes I don't, so I'm telling like it is. But I love him. And sometimes he's stubborn, but sometimes he ain't. But that's life. And I guess I'm the same way sometimes, but that's where it goes.
Grandmother, who would you say you got your personality from? Your mother or your father, or maybe someone else? When I say your personality, who do you act like most? You think your mother or your father?
They say my mother.
Your mother.
Everybody be telling.
Like your mother.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things your mother did? Like, some of us were really young and we don't remember her as much. Like, could you tell us a little bit more about your parents? What type of people were they?
Oh, they were real Christian people, and they was kind-hearted people. They make everybody at home. And if you go to the house, they're going to make you eat something you had to eat.
They offer you some food. Nick, you at home?
Grandmother, just by listening to this interview and other times, you told us about some sneaking kind of bad things you did growing up. What do you think kept you out of trouble all these years?
I ain't been in no bad trouble. I'm telling you like it is.
You say you were bad
I never in school, like in school, you know. But that's different. That's a different thing. But in bad trouble, I never been in no bad trouble.
Mom, how did your parents teach you to go through the struggle?
Because I didn't know what to do. And if I wouldn't have been so hard-headed, maybe I could go on and do what they say do, you know? All children like that. All children like that. You can't struggle in life. You got to be strong and do whatever they say do. And don't be hard-headed. Like that.
How did you become so strong?
In the Lord. Had faith in God. That was mine. Being strong.
Mama, what, knowing what you know now, what is something that you would tell maybe your younger self? Like if you were 18 or 19, knowing what you know, is there any advice you would give your younger self?
Stay out of trouble and do the best you can. That's all I can say, baby. Get you a good education. And you ain't got to depend on mom and daddy. You do it for yourself. And the Lord gonna help you with it.
Mama, how was it being the oldest child and having the responsibility of taking care of all 12 younger ones under you?
That was real bad. That was hard.
It was hard.
But they all was growing up. Some was, you know, up in the age, and a little bigger than the other was, but it was hard. That was a big responsibility.
It was a big responsibility.
Yeah, it was. That with 13, we were 13 of us. I was the oldest, but still in all, I still had to do what I could for the youngest. The youngest and right behind. Right. I used to have to go and iron their clothes. My mama used to pick out how many pair of pants. If I had my brothers and sisters at the counter, when my other sisters got big enough, I had to count how many. I had like 4 pair of pants for one. She picked out the next one, 4 pair of pants. And going around to all the children, and that was our job. You had to iron their clothes and have them ready for them.
So you could have been ironing 26 outfits.
That's
30
right.
outfits.
That's right.
And you wasn't but what, 13 yourself?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You was a young person yourself. That's hard.
Do you think that had an impact on you waiting to have children or not having as many children as your parents had?
It might have been. I should have waited. I should have waited.
Well, Mother, what do you mean you should have waited? You did wait 5 whole years.
Yeah, but that wasn't. I mean, I could have waited longer than that. Look, if I wouldn't have worried on with all the other sisters and brothers, I could have waited. What else?
Can I make that? Yeah. Could you tell us more about your grandparents? Do you remember their names and how they were?
I know my mother. I didn't know my great grandmother, my mama. I was a baby, and if she had lived after I born, my mama was gonna take that baby and let her raise the baby. I mean, take me, you know. That was my great grandmother, my mama. Now my grandmother, yeah. Now my daddy mom, I know her, called her Dia Risha from Melville. And she used to make us smoke a pipe and get her drunk on the road. I didn't smoke a pipe, but her daughter would take a pipe. She'd take the pipe and get on the side of the road and take up for tobacco and smoke it and get drunk. She wouldn't tell that.
Well, Mom, how did Papa finally win you over? How did Papa finally win you over?
Oh, I think we just fell in love. That's all I can say. Going at that picture show, I think that's what did it. One night we went to the picture show. And I was with another guy. And he had already been talking to me. And I said, why you going? So we wanted to ride horseback. I got on the horse with the boy and we went on to the picture show. Tied the horse outside the picture show. And when I know Lick, he done come all the way to the picture show and got up in the picture show and just eating peanuts and stuff behind me. And he sat right behind me and I ain't never seen him. And I felt something on my leg like this.
Oh, yeah.
I felt something on my leg in the back. I don't know, him behind my leg. And I act like I didn't want to move. You know how girls the boys gonna be fooling.
But you with another guy.
Yeah, but why you gotta come sit behind me?
And feel on your leg.
It feel my leg.
So that must have felt good.
That must have
on
did.
his leg.
That must be what got on.
What you did, Mama? What you do, Mama?
What?
When he felt your leg?
I just moved. You know, like somebody behind the picture, the lights, all that thing you wanted was behind you, sitting in the seat behind you.
It was Paul.
That was him.
So is that what melted your heart away?
Is
that what melted your heart away?
Oh, I guess he fell in love by you riding the little notes, and I was riding right back to him on the bicycle. He was coming on the bicycle to my house.
Bringing the notes, Mom?
Huh?
Who brought the notes to you?
Yeah, I just said the same
Don't
thing.
send it over.
Send a little note to
They
me.
bring them and give them to my sister.
And give him to Karen.
Dolores.
I mean, Dolores.
So Papa was the original romantic.
Yeah.
He knew what was up.
He sure was.
So grandmother, how did you know when and how to dump that other guy and get with this hero?
Because I thought he was a playboy. Okay. Because he liked my first cousin behind my back.
Oh,
like he didn't like her. And after that, I come to find that she was like, he come to my house and leave my house, didn't go down to my first cousin. Dorothy May Lane, but she died. She used to be my, she was my bride maker.
God, I got a question.
That's how we left.
What was his name?
Boy's name.
What's your boy's name, Mom?
F.D. Robinson.
F.D. Robinson.
I
don't like that last name either.
What else you say?
Dion. From the age of 1 to 10 through 20, what was your best moment?
10 through 20. Oh, that's a woman. That was all grown, boy.
Not 10, Bob. We say 10 from
20
to 20. What was your best moment?
Oh, from 10 to 20.
Yeah, what was your most fun?
Oh, it was fun. Playing, we used to play church and outside and play baptize some of the little children, put them in the water. Hey, I'm in church out on the phone. Have a little phone, did the phone and put them in there and baptize and
They was a little blind
they
girl.
baptized.
Mama, tell us what, like, holidays, like Christmas. It was 13 of y'all. So, like, kids nowadays, they're getting PlayStations and Nintendos and all of this fancy stuff for Christmas. It was 13 of y'all. What did y'all get for Christmas?
Only thing you was the apple and orange, and you smell them all over the house.
Apple and orange.
Apple and orange, that's all you got was apple and orange. A little baby doll. For the girls would get a little baby doll. Other than that, you didn't see nothing else. No kind of fruit. You didn't have nothing.
Mama,
See all these, huh?
Do you have any memory of a moment when you experienced racism?
Sometimes.
Because
it's called how you carry yourself with somebody, Some of them act mean and some of them love you to death. Mm-hmm.
Is there
But he got some good ones. He got some good and some bad. It's just like us.
Do you remember anything specific, like somebody calling you a nigger or black girl? Or could you tell us what that was like and how it happened?
Well, they would say out of your dreads, you old big head, you all kind of bad word to you. But I just didn't pay him no mind. But black nigger, you this and I didn't pay him no mind.
But Mama, back then you was considered light skinned. So did you see, like, I'm just asking, did you see a difference like some of your sisters that might have been darker skinned from you. Did you experience a different treatment than some of your siblings?
No,
Did you see them treat your husband differently?
No, they said we were sisters. They never seen them by her color was or not, you know. They never said
All
that.
right. That's it. How we wrap it up? Okay.
Any other questions?
Mama.
What?
I
Okay.
got a question.
All right.
Daddy married you, and he was on a furlough, and he married you, and you stayed with your parents.
Mm-hmm.
How did y'all end up moving to Morganza?
Because you need a house to stay in.
And what did you do? I mean, Daddy was gone. What did you do? I mean, to get a house ready, what did you do?
The lady that was gonna live in the house, I knew who it was, and I asked her about living in the house. Miss Minnie McDonald.
Okay.
She had a house, and I let that he was going. I told my mom, it's time me to get out your house. Now I need to get my own house.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wrote and told him that I'm looking for a house, we got to move.
Mm-hmm.
And we came and we moved, and we got in the house right down there in City Club where Jed and them
Well, Ryan is.
mm-hmm.
So, Mama, when Papa was gone, serving in the military, the only communication you had with him was through letters?
Yeah, letters.
You had to write Papa.
I had to write to him. Mm-hmm.
That took, how long that took?
So, Mama, how much was rent back then?
Oh Lord, that was so cheap.
How much
Cheap
a month?
back then.
Like you wrote Dad and wrote him a letter
But you
$10
might have been $10 a month.
to rent a house.
A one bedroom, or 2, 3?
We had one bathroom and two bedrooms in the kitchen.
Okay. That was nice then, back then, right, Mama?
What was the cost of the stamp?
Oh Lord, have mercy. About 3 cents stamp.
What about a gallon of gas?
30 cents.
These are book details. Thank you, James.
I have a question, Mom. Can you tell us, you said when you guys were young, when you guys were still living with your parents, their house burned down?
Yeah, we went to the street fair. My dad took us to the street fair.
The whole family
And
was
we got the news right at the track going to in Morganza. They said that somebody burnt your house down Forest Bayou.
Y'all think somebody actually burned it
And
down?
we didn't think that somebody did it. They found a cane outside, gas can, like they throw, kerosene and gas on the house and set it off.
Do y'all have any suspects?
No, we never found that. We moved. My dad just moved in with us with my grandfather.
Okay, this is a
Stayed there a while.
continuation to the question. Well, I know you said when you moved to Morganza, you guys was one of the first ones that had everybody used to come watch TV.
We was the first one that had a TV in Redding, right down there what Ryan said now. And we was just like a movie theater because everybody wanted to come there. When John Wayne was coming, or whatever cowboy gonna be on, they wanted to come and see the
So
picture.
y'all always had a house full of people sitting down in your house watching TV.
And my sister Helen, they didn't have no TV either.
Okay.
I was the only one. We was the only one in the street right then.
So y'all was kind of privileged, you would say, to have
But
a TV.
that's right. That's what it was. Okay.
Well, I know you said you had a lot of brothers. How did y'all use your transportation? What did y'all do? Horses?
Walk.
Walk everywhere?
Or either get in the wagon. My daddy carried us around in the wagon. Walked all the way to I couldn't make you think about it. Oakland Lane. Around Oakland Lane, they had a little street down. We walked all the way down to the schoolhouse. Because after we moved on this side of it, but we didn't have no ride, no other kind of it.
Approximately how far do you think that was?
At least 3 miles.
That's about 12. I said about 12.
No, not
Then
12.
it would be a long way.
About 3-4 miles.
It was a long way. Looked like it was ever for me to
How
go.
long did it take you to walk to school, do you think?
I know one thing, you be cold as I don't know what, but all them stockings you had on 2 pair of shoes and stocking head there. It was hard.
So you should say you came from a mighty long way.
Yeah, and that's a blessing. Sure, yeah.
Mama, how was your relationship between your brothers and your sisters?
Oh, we used to fight and do everything else, but we got along good after that. And you know Uncle Hummer, the one was out there joining that thing there. He always was. He wanted to stay with me because he's so young. And that's what happened to him after he moved in Mogans. He was living with us. He wanted to stay with me, and had a lady was stay down the street with where we live at. He wanted to go out in the rain, going to my sister's house, and took the umbrella and run right into the car. The car was coming, and we didn't know the car was coming. Harmon hit it, and that woman said, boom, look out. She done hit him. Just lucky he didn't get killed. And it was raining. Oh, I ain't heard. I went to where I was going away and pay off.
He told me that story.
That's true.
Yes, it's true.
Well, Mom, Papa, what advice would y'all give to young people today?
Stay out of trouble. That's the first one I give. Stay out of trouble. Don't be hard-headed. When they tell you to go somewhere or where you're going, tell them where you was going. Let them know that you're going to stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble. Well, if your daddy tell you where to go, your mom tell you go somewhere, look, we going to the store, Dad, we going there. Call your daddy and mom, let them know you done made it back home.
What y'all think about Donald Trump being the president?
Oh, please don't call that. No, I don't want him.
Okay, grandmother, I asked
The good dog gonna take care.
I asked Papa the same
was
question. Over all the years with all the advancements in technology and things that has come to pass, what is your favorite thing that you see? Modern technology that we have now.
What you mean, like in the house? Stuff like that?
Whatever. House, vehicle, whatever.
The washing clothes is better.
Washing
clothes.
machine.
I think that's the best one. Washing machine. That's the best one.
Washing machine is right.
Well, how did you wash before a washing machine?
On the wash clothes. Had the clothes in the tub and pour the water on there, and then you group. Then after that, I didn't have one. We got a ring inside our wash machine. Had to put on the front post to put the water running in there. Lester go call this, go out there and roll the towel, and we got his ankle cut up in the arm. His arm, ow!
Leslie did that?
Yeah.
Roll it while you dry your clothes.
You had to roll it. That's how you get your clothes ring out.
I seen it in the book.
That washing machine that was a lifesaver, a washing machine. If you got a washing machine, you got it made. You don't have no washing machine, you in a red.
You have a question for Mama?
Well, do I have a question for my mom? Well, the only thing I would like to say to my wife that I'm glad that we had this time together. And I thank the Lord for it. And I hope the Lord will bless us to have many, many more. And through it all, I really love you. And I wish you well.
I have one more question. What's your favorite Bible verse?
Right there's
And what is that one? I know.
Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
That's right. We know that.
Best one.
One last one?
Mom, did you ever get whipped with a whip or something?
No, I didn't have no whip, but I had a good strap. Had a leather strap about that wide, long like that. Make you get on them knees and.
Did you ever have to put your knees in rice?
Huh?
Did you ever have to put your knees
No.
in rice?
No, have you ever experienced that? I just gonna ask you that question. Well, I'm just asking. You ain't never experienced somebody. You know somebody that would put your knees down in rice? No, I never heard
What the
that.
right supposed to do?
Yeah, it hurts.
Who told you that?
Mom,
Your mom didn't put on. Oh, she done had to put hers on. That's how you know. I know somebody that tell it to you. See, you know. That's it. That was a good day.
Dad, you got one?
Well, we have to give Lisa some sweet potato pie.
Son-in-law, so good. She was so nice to bring me some.
Okay.
So I'm waiting one more thing from my nephew. My nephew, I want him to stay with his
Mama, what age did you first start going to church?
Oh boy, I was so little, about 12, when I really got deep into going to church, knowing what church was, you know.
What about you, Papa?
Oh, well, I went. When I went, I didn't know what I was going, but see, I had to go because at that time, my grandmother wouldn't leave me at home, so she went to church. I had to go. Wasn't no say he wasn't going. I really went to church before I really knew what church was all about. But as I got older, see, you don't learn it all at once. You learn it a day. You learn it a day at a time about church. So you ain't gonna learn it all at one time. But the more you go, the more you're gonna learn. And then when you read the Bible, you got to believe what it says. If you ain't gonna believe it, don't read it. Believe what it says. Whether like the Lord say, I'll take care of you.
Yeah, I just want to say something.
Now he ain't say you didn't have to go out there and do nothing. But if you keep going the way, he got your job for you. Wait. All you got to do go show up in the morning, you got a job. But now, if you don't go wait,
you want to say something.
what's going to happen? Okay, well, that's what it means. You open wait for you, but you got to go.
So, Mama, y'all went to the same. Who went to Morning Star first? You or Daddy?
Me.
Daddy went first.
Mama went to Morning Star when Janet got baptized.
So, where was Mama going at when you was going to Morning Star? What church you was going to?
She's going down the photo, Lady Union.
Oh, okay.
That was her home church.
Home. You was going to your home church.
Like Morning Star was your home church. Morning Star, your home church, right?
Yeah. Daddy, you went to Morning Star in what year?
1945.
45. Mama went in what year?
71. She didn't go because Janet went to John Monson. Janet already at John. So when they left Janet John, Mom said, well, I'm a John too.
Oh.
That's why she John. Because of y'all and me. I didn't tell her to John. She John on her own.
Because I wanted to join Morning Star instead of living.
Papa, I have a question for you. I hear a lot of couples that's been married for a while says happy life equals happy wife equals happy life. What truth is there to that?
Well, as long as you're happy, everything. See, I've been married 63 years. I did a lot of work home. Every time I come home, I had clothes clean, and I had food to eat, and, you know. And if I made a little money, Mama, she tried to spend it for the best she could. She always took care of the kids. The kids always had something to eat, had clothes. My kids, a lot of children had to eat beans every day. My children had choice. They had choice. They didn't have to eat beans every day. They had potatoes for French fried potatoes, homemade chicken and hamburger. See, they had choices. They didn't just have to eat beans every day. Well, my children didn't have to eat no beans when they were small. So it was touch and go. Didn't make a lot of money, but the ones who wanted to go to college, they went. The ones that didn't, I didn't make them go. So they succeeded. They did good. So you know, a lot of people send their children to school and flunk out, but my children didn't flunk out. They graduated. Might have not did it in one day, but they graduated.
And how do you think you have been able to make her happy for all of these years?
Well, I took care of her. No. She didn't have the little money I made. She didn't have to worry about me spending somewhere else. I brought it home and we paid our bills and never had nothing cut off. I never had a job where if I didn't work, I got paid. I ain't never had a job where I went out there and if I didn't work, I didn't get no money. But I ain't never had nothing cut off. My children, they went to school. You know, whatever they had to have, the books and things, they always got it. So the Lord just took care of, you know. Your mama was a providing lady. She knows how to make ends meet. She didn't go to the banquet hall, things like that. So she just knows how to improvise.
And grandmother, how have you been able to make your husband happy all of these years?
Well, I think he do what he's supposed to do sometimes. But what if you make yourself happy, you got to do the right thing with the right happiness. I figure if I ask him to do something, you know, I say, yeah, go ahead on in there, but and I do him the same thing, you know, if you're going to do it. Sometimes we have us argue, and I just tell him what I have on my mind, and he tell me what I had on his mind. That's how it goes. But we going on and fight on out sometimes. But sometimes what really make me not happy, I want him to let me know if he going out the door, not the door, if he going somewhere sometimes. They won't say one word. Tell me you going to the store. I'll be back, let me know where you at. Sometimes he just leave on out like the door, and I don't know where he at. No.
If there was one thing you could change, would you change anything?
Huh?
If there was one thing that you can change, would you change anything?
Nothing but love.
More love?
Love, yeah. Love for better or worse. So they got to all be together.
What?
All right, what you want to say?
Mom, what person gave you the best advice in life?
The best
Advice.
Look at my parents, I guess my mom and my father.
Can you give a little detail?
Huh?
Can you give a little detail?
Can you tell what he did?
Well, you got to listen to what they tell you to do and don't be hard-headed. If your mama tell you to do something and let you know you're going somewhere, I say, well, I'm going to call my mama and let her know. Don't just walk in the door and come on back and say something. Let her know.
Mom,
Huh?
was you real proud of your 4 children?
Yeah, I'm proud of them. All of my kids, all of them. My grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my nephew-in-law and all that.
For the record, could you state your children's name?
Oh, I think one of them name is Janice Smith. Troy Minor. Troy Minor and Deborah Minor. And them little grandchildren, Nigel Whitaker.
Well, you have to state your firstborn name also.
The first one
Your firstborn child name.
was Leslie. He was my first man. Leslie. And Janice and David. Okay. And the grandchildren come on down to Shawan.
Oh, yeah.
And would you say you have the best family in the world?
It's the best family. They tell I can put their butt sometimes and tell them what I want. I said, they won't take over my house. Do what they want to do. And I love them to death.
We love you.
All right,
too.
Trey, what you gonna say now? And you better have me a cheesecake, and I love you too. You come
I'll make you one.
No, it's Christmas morning. Don't go ahead. Hey. We got church in the morning.
Last question.
Oh, you ain't getting the kitchen, boy. You can't get in the kitchen.
Boy, so if you go in there, you take in the restaurant.
You won't get
Hey,
tomorrow.
one another thing.
How many times did it?
Don't worry about it.
How many times did it take
That
for you
turkey
to
ham
have
was good.
your first child?
Huh?
How many times did it take for you to have your first child?
How many years you mean?
Yeah.
Time. You said time.
For years or
I mean, you want to say how many years ago?
I guess it's asking about it.
5 years.
It took 5 years. Was it
That's what he
difficult to
gonna
have children?
Like 5 years. You want to know how many years
You was married.
5 years.
You was
You
married
got
5 years before you got a child.
5 years before
But that's what he want to tell my first child, yeah. I married 5 years before him.
Thank you for interviewing with us this evening.
Thank you.